ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आविश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। आप सभी का स्वागत है आज के इस गीता के प्रवचन में।
We welcome all of you to today's Bhagavad Gita class. We are studying third chapter, verse 20 onwards. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is answering Arjuna's question. Arjuna had asked, please tell me decisively what I should do so that I will achieve the ultimate benefit. Because Arjuna's confusion was that Bhagavan spoke of two things, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga, and Arjun felt that Jnana Yoga is superior to Karma Yoga. But still, Bhagavan told Arjun to fight in the war, which is Karma Yoga. So Arjuna got confused. If Jnana Yoga is superior, then why does he want to engage me in this ghastly war? So in reply to that,
विस्तृत रूप से
first of all, Bhagavan gave a detailed explanation of Karma Yoga, what is the importance of karma, why one should perform karma, and how nobody can continue to live without performing karma. And then he told Arjuna clearly that he should perform karma.
अशक्त ही आचरण कर्म परम आपनोति पुरुष। लेकिन कर्म जो है वो आसक्ति त्याग कर करना चाहिए।
Karma should be done with detachment,
थोड़ा समस्याजनक बात है क्योंकि
which is little
कोई भी कर्म
difficult to understand
प्राप्ति के लिए
because when one performs karma, he performs it to obtain something.
बंधोपि न प्रवर्तते। और भगवान कहते हैं कि तुम आसक्ति छोड़ के, फल की आसक्ति छोड़
And
के,
Bhagavan is telling that you give up your attachment to the fruit and perform karma.
फल की आसक्ति, कर्तृत्व आसक्ति, ये सब छोड़िए। द्वितीय अध्याय में भी ये बात कही थी उन्होंने, कर्म ने भी।
In the second chapter also he had told
कर्मण्येव अधिकारस्त्वं मा फलेषु कदाचन। उसमें कहा फल के लिए तुम्हारा अधिकार नहीं है, यानी कि तुम्हारा स्वतंत्र नहीं
that
है।
you do not have the independence to decide the phala. So Bhagavan placed lot of emphasis on this.
क्योंकि हम जब भी कुछ भी करते हैं तो कुछ प्राप्त करने
This is against our experience because whenever we do something, we do it to obtain some fruit. Otherwise, why shall we do that?
नौकरी करते हैं, ऑफिस में जाते हैं, तो इसलिए
If you are doing job in the office, you are doing your job to get the fruit, that is the salary. But if the boss says that you do your work, but we will not pay you anything, then will you work? You won't work even for a day.
तो ये भगवान की बात।
In fact, if somebody pays you more, you leave your present job and take up the other one. So then how can we accept this, that Bhagavan is telling us to work with detachment? So this is the law of karma. Karma binds us in the sense that we get bound by the fruit. That if we will perform the karma only if we get the fruit, not otherwise. So then what has happened? We have become a slave of the fruit.
तो उससे आपकी संतुष्टि नहीं होती है।
And when we get the result of the karma, we do not remain satisfied with that.
तस्य मानव आत्मन्येव संतुष्ट तस्य कार्यम न विद्यते। जो स्वयं में संतुष्ट है, तो आज समाज में
So one who is self-satisfied,
हर एक आदमी असंतुष्ट।
today nobody is self-satisfied.
पहले राजा महाराजाओं के पास भी इतनी संपत्ति नहीं होती थी जितनी आजकल आप एल्टन मस्क के पास देख सकते हैं।
Earlier, even kings did not used to have so much wealth like now. What you see with people like Elon Musk,
रखते हैं,
they are controlling the whole world.
दिया, अब वो बेचारे कुछ नहीं कर सकते इसमें, और कोई उसको जवाब देने के लिए तैयार नहीं है कि क्यों मेरा अकाउंट बंद हुआ। तो ऐसे किसी का भी हो गया, ट्रंप का भी बंद कर दिया था उसने पहले।
So they control others' social media accounts.
कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनको
So they are controlling everything. They are not satisfied.
क्योंकि संतुष्टि उसी को मिलेगी जो अपने आप में संतुष्ट है। संतुष्टि आपको बाहर कहीं नहीं मिल सकती है।
Only one who is self-satisfied.
कोई पैसे में देखता है, कोई
Satisfaction can be obtained within only. Satisfaction cannot be obtained in another people.
वहाँ जाके हम पिकनिक मनाएंगे,
Somebody says that you go to this place, that place, we will be satisfied.
वहाँ भी तो लोग पहले से ही रह रहे
But if you go to other places, there are also same situation. There are people who are already living there.
हैं ना, वहाँ पर वो संतुष्ट हैं क्या?
Are they satisfied?
छोड़ के जहाँ आप रहते
They want to leave that place and they want to come to your place.
कोई न्यूयॉर्क में रहता है तो
Somebody is living in New York, he wants to go to Jamaica, and the person in Jamaica, he is trying to get visa for USA. He wants to settle in New York. So
संतुष्ट नहीं है।
whoever is in whichever place, the person is not satisfied. Nobody is satisfied with his present situation.
कहीं भी देख लो आप,
Everywhere,
तो
same
भगवान
situation.
इसको समझा रहे हैं।
So that is what Bhagavan is explaining here. That my dear child, please try to understand.
शक्ति को छोड़ दो,
Give up attachment. All these animals, birds, whatever we see here, they are satisfied. Why? Because they do not have attachments.
फिर बच्चा
Bird lays egg,
जैसे उसके
and when the child grows up,
उड़ कर गया,
the child flies away
वापस नहीं आता।
and doesn't come back.
शकुंता इव जात पक्षा, चला जाता है ना, आसक्ति नहीं है, इसलिए मस्त है।
So the bird doesn't have attachment. That's why the bird is happy.
कोई उसका बैंक बैलेंस नहीं है, और कोई
It
क्रेडिट
doesn't have any job, no bank balance, no
और
credit
कोई
card,
उसका फेसबुक अकाउंट भी नहीं है,
and the bird also does not have any Facebook account.
तो वो मस्त है एकदम।
Then the bird is very happy.
तो मनुष्य की संख्या कितनी, 7 बिलियन कहते हैं अभी, लेकिन ये
People
जितने
say that the
पशु
current
पक्षी
population is around
इनकी
7
संख्या
billion,
बिलियन होगी।
but these other
और
living
बचपन
entities like the animals,
मच्छर मक्खी
birds,
चींटी
etc.,
कितने हैं,
their total count must be more than even 70 billion, billions of times more than
लेकिन
the count of
मनुष्य की
human
जो
beings.
बुद्धि है
But human being
वो
who has
सबसे
got
ज्यादा
intelligence,
समझदार
who
है,
has hand, legs, who is
इसलिए
most capable to live,
और वो चिंता में रहता है।
he is always in
इसको
anxiety.
समझाने के लिए भगवान आते हैं
And Bhagavan comes to
और कहते हैं कि
explain
जो कर्म जो है ये तुमको
to the
बांध रहा
human
है,
being
ये
only.
कर्म ही
So
से
he is
तुमको
telling
मुक्ति
that
मिलेगी,
this karma is binding you,
लेकिन
but
उसको
karma
कैसे
will
तोड़ना
only
है,
liberate you also.
आप विज्ञान सीखो
But you have to understand
कि साइंस
the
क्या है,
science
इसको कैसे करना है,
behind the law of
और आप
karma,
आनंद में रहो, क्योंकि
how you
भगवान
should
अपने
perform karma so that you
मैं
remain
उदाहरण
happy.
देता हूँ
So Bhagavan will give his own example also, that see how I perform karma, but I
कर्म के विज्ञान को जानता हूँ,
remain always
क्योंकि
happy.
कर्म के बारे में
Why?
हमने पढ़ा
Because
भी आगे तक,
I know the science behind
नियत
karma.
अनित्य कर्म
So
कब
he'll
घटना है,
explain
क्या
in
कर्म
depth
क्या कर्म, बड़े बड़े
what is
विद्वान
karma,
भी मोहित
what
हो
is
गए थे
karma, what is akarma. He will say
कि
that
इसको
even
समझ ही आया,
great
तो ये
intellectuals,
बार बार
they
भगवान
are
आते हैं
also they
कृष्ण
also become
इसलिए
deluded in
अध्याय
understanding
अध्याय में
karma.
कहते हैं
So till the end, Bhagavan will
ज्ञात्वा
place emphasis
शास्त्रम
on this point.
संपादे कर तुम हरसी, शास्त्र के विधान को समझो तब काम
He
करो,
says that understand the
नहीं तो आप
laws in
बंदर के जैसे
Shastra and work accordingly.
दलदल में गिर
Learn
जाओगे।
Shastra and then work.
तो इस बात पर
Otherwise,
जोर देकर
you
बार
will
बार
fall down.
भगवान समझा रहे हैं हमको।
So Bhagavan is again and
तो
again
आश्चर्य होता है कि गीता में 700
making
श्लोक है,
this
इसमें
point.
दूसरे अध्याय में, तीसरे अध्याय में,
It's
चौथे अध्याय में,
surprising that
पांचवें
out of
अध्याय में
700 verses
तुरंत
in
भगवान कर्म
Gita,
की करते हैं,
in in so many chapters, Bhagavan
छठवें
speaks
अध्याय
of
में फिर
karma
वापस से
only.
आ जाते हैं
In
अपने
the
मूल
18th chapter,
शास्त्र
again,
की,
he will
गीता है,
start playing the trumpet about
फिर
karma.
अपने बारे में कुछ बताने लगते हैं,
Then in the midst, a little
7वें
bit, he
अध्याय
speaks
में,
about himself
11वें
also.
में, 12वें में, लेकिन बात उनका यही है। तो
But again and
अपने
again,
आप
he is
को
coming back to the point
हमारे
of karma only.
दिमाग में ये हो सकता है कि ये कर्म की बहुत बात करते हैं, लेकिन क्या कर्म से मेरे को मोक्ष मिल
So
जाएगा,
Arjun may think that Bhagavan is speaking so much about karma,
नहीं,
but
कर्म
will I get
संन्यासेषु
liberation by karma?
स्थिता जनकादयः लोक संग्रम एवापि संपन्शन कर्तुम अर्हसि, निस्संदेह केवल निष्काम कर्म से ही जनक आदि ने सिद्धि प्राप्त की थी। जन
Indeed,
साधारण
by
के लिए
motiveless action alone,
ध्यान में रखो
Janaka and others
कि
realized
भगवान का
perfection.
अवश्य पालन
Considering
करो।
to the right ideal to be set
एक
for the
शिक्षा
instruction of
मनुष्य को
people in
देनी होती
general,
है,
you should certainly
तो ये
perform your
शिक्षा की एक
duty.
एक शैली है
So even you have
कि
to
आप
educate somebody. This is
तत्व
the
को
system of
समझाओ,
educating. First of all,
उसका
explain the
उदाहरण दो
tattva, then give an example,
और फिर उसके पीछे लॉजिक बताओ
and then
कि
give the logic behind that. That is what
तत्व
Bhagavan
को
is doing
बहुत
here.
समझाया
First of
उन्होंने,
all, he explained the tattva of karma,
और अब एक उदाहरण दे रहे हैं यहाँ पे
and now
कि
he is
आप ऐसे
giving an
मत सोचना
example.
कि मैं केवल आपको ही बोल रहा हूँ, पहले भी
Don't
बहुत
think
लोग
that I am telling you
कर्म से
only.
ही सिद्धि प्राप्त किए,
Earlier also, many people
छोटे छोटे
achieved
व्यक्ति नहीं थे,
perfection just by
बड़े
karma.
महापुरुष
Not some ordinary people,
जनक
great
आदि
intellectual people like Janaka, they achieved
जनक
this.
बहुत बड़ा ज्ञानी था,
Janaka was not an uneducated person,
जिसका
he was a
नाम
great Jnani.
उपनिषदों में भी आता है,
Janaka's name
और
is
अपने
in the Upanishads also,
शास्त्रार्थ कराता रहता था वो ज्ञानी,
and he used to
वेदों
conduct
का
a lot of
व्यापक
Shastra
ज्ञान
Arthas,
उसको था,
discussions on Shastra in his kingdom. So always
तो
there were many philosophers in his kingdom,
यानी कि
in Mithila,
सुखदेव गोस्वामी
meaning
जो कि व्यास के पुत्र हैं
Shukdev Goswami, who is
और
the
व्यास
son
जी
of
के पुत्र जितने भी
Vyasa,
हैं,
and Vyasa,
सारे पुराणों
who
का
is
अध्ययन जिन्होंने किया, वेदांत
who
सूत्र जितने लिखे, गीता भी उन्होंने ही लिखी,
who has given Bhagavad
पुराण
Gita, Puranas, everything,
और वेदों का जिन्होंने चार
and who divided the Ved
उनके
into
पुत्र
four
ज्ञानी
parts.
सुखदेव,
His
वो
son
भी जनक आदि
Shukdev,
से जाके अध्ययन
he
किया उन्होंने,
also went to
महाभारत
Janaka
में कथा
and
आती है
studied under him.
कि सुखदेव जो है
There is a story in Mahabharata that
वो गए
Shukdev,
जनक के यहाँ
he went to Janaka
और उनसे जाकर उन्होंने अध्ययन किया,
and he
जनक के शिष्य
studied
हैं सुखदेव,
under Janaka. Shukdev is also
तो
a
ऐसे ही
student
कोई
of
व्यक्ति
Janaka.
जो यम
So
पूर्वम
such an
पुत्रेति
avadhut like Shukdev.
वायनो विरह कातर आजु हावे पुत्रेति तन्मयतातर वो विनय धूतम सर्वभूत हृदय मुनिमान तो अस्मि। जो अपना घर छोड़ के चल दिए थे जन्म के
The
बाद ही अपने
Shukdev
माता
who
पिता
had
को देख
left
के
his
पीछे पीछे
home,
दौड़ रहे हैं, हे पुत्र कहाँ जाते हो। तो वो भी उनसे जाकर पढ़े जनक। तो वो जनक
so
राजा
he
थे,
also, the Shukdev also went to
ब्राह्मण नहीं थे,
Janaka and studied under him.
उन्होंने संन्यास नहीं लिया,
Janaka
केवल
was a Kshatriya. He remained a king. He did not take sannyas.
कर्म से ही उनको सिद्धि प्राप्त हुई।
And he achieved
उसको ही आगे
perfection just
भगवान
by
कहते हैं
karma.
कर्मण
So
एव
that's what
हि
Bhagavan is
सिद्धि
explaining here.
राजन कादय। तो इस श्लोक में भगवान दो बात कर रहे हैं।
So in this verse, Bhagavan
एक
is
तो
making
उदाहरण
2
दे रहे हैं
points. One is
कि इस कर्म की
the
जिसकी मैं बात
example
कर रहा हूँ क्या
that
इसकी
the
इससे
karma
पहले भी
that
इसको
I
सिद्धि
am
प्राप्त हुई है।
discussing,
भगवान कहते हैं हाँ हुई है।
has anybody achieved perfection earlier by performing karma? So Bhagavan is telling
जैसे
yes,
जनक है,
not just one, but many, like
जनक
Janaka,
एक राजा थे,
and there are others also. Other
और
kings have also
साथ में
been there
उन्होंने
in
ये
history who achieved perfection just by karma. And along
यही
with that, Bhagavan is giving
हमें भी
the
करना चाहिए
logic
जिससे
also
भगवान
that
की
why you
कृपा से
should
सिद्धि हो
perform
उनकी।
karma.
पहला
So,
तर्क,
first of all, he
दूसरा ये
says
कहते हैं कि
that
लोग कहते
Janaka
हैं,
achieved
दूसरा तर्क
Janaka achieved perfection just by
लोग
karma.
संग्रह
And the
करते हैं
second
कि
logic
देखो
he is
सन्यासी
giving here is that
इसके
for
पीछे ये
instruction
कर्म
of
कर रहे
people
हैं,
in general,
उसको भी ध्यान में
also
रखते हुए
you
हमें
should
कर्म करना
certainly
चाहिए।
perform karma.
तो कहते हैं कर्मणा एव ही, तो दो शब्द
He
का
says
प्रयोग
here
किया है,
karmana eva he. He has
एव
used
शब्द का
two words,
और ही शब्द का।
eva and he.
तो एव का मतलब है अन्य योग व्यवच्छेद, यानी कि कर्म से ही सिद्धि हुआ उनका।
Eva means that he achieved
इसका
perfection
मतलब
just
है
by
ज्ञान
karma,
से नहीं,
not by
कर्म से ही,
jnana,
कर्म से
not
ही
by any
सिद्धि
other
हुई।
path, just by karma.
तो ये कर्म का महत्व बताते हैं।
So
श्री
this is the importance
रामानुजाचार्य
of
जी इसको
karma
टीका
that he
लिखते हैं
explains. Sri
श्लोक में।
Ramanujacharya comments on this
एव का
verse
मतलब यहाँ है कि ये जो
saying
कर्म है वो ज्ञान से श्रेष्ठ है,
eva here means
ज्ञान योग से
that
श्रेष्ठ
karma
है।
is superior to
क्योंकि अर्जुन
Jnana
के मन
Yoga,
में ये भ्रम था
because
कि
Arjun
ज्ञान
had
जो
this
है वो कर्म
confusion
योग
in
से
mind
श्रेष्ठ है,
that
लेकिन फिर भी
he was
भगवान
thinking
उनको
that
उद्धव
Jnana
करने के
Yoga
लिए
is
कह रहे
superior
हैं।
to Karma Yoga, then why is
इसलिए
Bhagavan engaging me in
लिखते
Karma
हैं
Yoga?
कि
So
नहीं,
Sri
भगवान
Ramanujacharya
कहते
says
हैं कि
that
कर्मणा एव
that
ही,
when Bhagavan is telling here
यानी
that Karmana
सन्यासी
eva
ज्ञानी
he,
उसको भी कर्म से ही सिद्धि प्राप्त हुई,
so
इसलिए
he
कर्म
means
से
that
कर्म
when he says that
कर्म
Janaka,
ही श्रेष्ठ है।
such a jnani like Janaka, he achieved perfection just by karma, it
उससे
means that
पहले
Karma
किसी
Yoga is superior.
कर्मस्तु कर्म संन्यासात,
In
कर्म
the
योग में
upcoming
प्रवेश
verses,
करके
Bhagavan will speak.
स्वयं वो कहते हैं कि
Bhagavan
कर्म
himself will
संन्यास की
say
बजाय कर्म
that
योग
compared
श्रेष्ठ
to
है।
Karma Sannyas, Karma Yoga
तो
is
इसलिए श्री
superior.
रामानुजाचार्य जी कहते हैं
That's
कि
why Sri Ramanujacharya
इससे
says
ये अर्थ
that
निकलता है कि
here
ज्ञान योग से श्रेष्ठ है,
the meaning of Eva is that
क्योंकि
Karma Yoga is
जो
superior
व्यक्ति
to
कर्म
Jnana
करेगा
Yoga.
वो अपना भी भरण
Because
पोषण
the person who will perform
करेगा,
karma, he
दूसरों पर
will
निर्भर रहेगा।
feed himself as well as
ये एक
others.
मार्ग
But
है,
Jnani will depend on others only.
उनका ये मत है कि यहाँ
So
कर्म
Jnana
से
Yoga is
सिद्धि
also
होती है।
a path, but
और
this
दूसरे मत
Sri
ये है
Ramanujacharya's opinion
कि
is
ज्ञान
that
योग
here
से
Karma
श्रेष्ठ है,
Yoga is
जिसने
superior to Jnana
श्लोक
Yoga.
में कहा था
And another
संन्यास
point is that, like we had discussed earlier about Varnashram,
कहते हैं
sannyas is just for Brahmanas. So what will other
इसलिए
people do?
कर्म से ही सिद्धि हो जाएगी।
So that's why he is telling that you will achieve
और
perfection by karma only. And
ही शब्द कहा, तो ही
he
शब्द
also he also uses the word
बल
he.
देने के लिए उसकी
So
श्रेष्ठता बताने
here
के
he
लिए,
means that he is trying
और
to lay emphasis
जब
on
जनक
this
जैसा
point.
व्यक्ति जो है वो कर्म से सिद्धि प्राप्त कर रहा है तो
So when a person like
करना
Janaka
ही
is
चाहिए।
achieving perfection just by
अर्जुन
karma, then
लेकिन
Arjun
ज्ञानी
should
है,
definitely perform karma because Arjun is
तो वो
at
सोचता है
least
नहीं
not
ज्ञान योग
a
से कैसे
jnani
सिद्धि हो
like
जाएगी, ये
Janaka.
संभव नहीं है। जब जनक से
So
बड़ा
if
इतना बड़ा ज्ञानी है, बड़े बड़े ज्ञानी उसकी
when
सभा में जा रहे हैं,
Janaka, who is
ज्ञान
such a
योग
great
देने वाले
jnani,
ज्ञानी,
and jnanis
तो
like
उससे कैसे सिद्धि हो
Yagyavalkya
जाएगी,
also, went to his kingdom to conduct Shastrartha. You might have heard of Ashtavakra Gita. That was also recited to Janaka only.
अर्जुन को तो इसलिए कर्मयोग करना
So
ही चाहिए,
Arjun must perform
और
Karma
इससे
Yoga
बाकी जो मानव समाज है उसके
so
लिए भी
that
संकेत दिया जा
the
रहा है कि
general human society, this message is through Arjun, the message is being given to the general human society also that everyone should perform,
का माने
they should perform karma.
जन का दे। और जो दूसरा है
The other point is,
वो समझना है कि जो कर्म है, ये कर्म का मतलब यहाँ निष्काम कर्म से है।
here karma means nishkam karma. That is what we have to keep in mind, because somebody may say that there is sakam karma also.
हमारा प्रकृति चल
So
रहा है
the
और
context
जैसे
here,
भगवान ने कहा कि आसक्ति रहित होकर कर्म करना है,
in
तो
the previous verse, Bhagavan had said that we should perform karma with detachment. So in this verse also, karma refers to nishkam karma only.
जो पहले श्लोक में कहा था
And
परमापनोति
here the word samsiddhi, what is samsiddhi? What is the perfection?
परम माने परमात्मा, भगवान को प्राप्त कर लेगा।
Here perfection refers to achieving Bhagavan.
कोई भी आप कर्म
So
कर रहे हैं,
although karma is temporary,
होता है
karma
और
is
परमात्मा जो
not
है
indestructible,
अविनाशी है,
but Paramatma is avinashi, is indestructible.
हो जाएगा
So
कारण के अनुसार
with
कार्य
from
करना
karma,
चाहिए,
how will you achieve
कारण के
Paramatma? Because karma is temporary, not eternal,
कैसे संभव है?
but Paramatma is eternal.
ये प्रश्न उठेगा ना मन में। तो वो इसलिए है कि जो कर्म होता है उसके चार फल होते हैं,
So that is because karma has
उपाद्य,
four results.
कार्य, संस्कार्य और प्राप्य। आप कर्म से कोई नई चीज बना सकते हैं,
With karma, you can create something new, that is utpadya. Like you
पहले तो
cook
आपने हलवा
halwa.
बनाया,
So halwa did not exist earlier. Now there is halwa. So this is utpadya.
विकार्य
Then
का मतलब
second
होता
is
है कि आप
vikarya.
उसमें कुछ
Vikarya
परिणाम ला रहे हैं,
means
जैसे दूध
something is already existing, but you just do a transformation, like you convert
संस्कार्य
milk into curd.
उसके गुण को
Or samskarya.
श्रेष्ठ बनाया,
Samskarya means some object is there and you enhance its
हलवा
quality.
बनाया,
Like
उसमें थोड़ा सा
halwa, there is halwa
सुगंधित हो जाए,
and you put some kesher in that,
उसको
saffron,
सुगंधित कर दिया,
so it becomes,
और
its
फिर एक
smell
तीसरा फल है
improves. So
प्राप्य,
that is samskarya. And the fourth is
कि आप
prapya.
वृंदावन पहुंचे,
Like let's say you from your home you come to Vrindavan.
वृंदावन तो
So you
पहुंच
are
गए,
not creating Vrindavan. Vrindavan is already existing.
तो इसलिए उनको प्राप्त करना,
So you are just
तो इसलिए कर्म से
attaining
जो
Vrindavan.
हम प्राप्त करते हैं, भगवान तो नित्य हैं, तो
So
उनको
from by karma
और
we
एक
can
बात और
attain
है,
Bhagavan. Bhagavan is eternal.
पैदल चल
And
के
here
भगवान
attaining
को
doesn't mean that you have to walk somewhere or go by a car
वो तो आपके
to
हृदय में ही बैठे
attain
हुए
him.
हैं,
He is already there in your heart,
हमारा जो अज्ञान है,
but
हमारे जो
our
अवरोध हैं,
ignorance, the obstacles in our
आप नहीं
chitta,
करने देना चाह रहे हैं,
which
आप
are
उसको नहीं
preventing
कर पा
us
रहे हैं,
from
जैसे
realizing
हमारी आँख में
Bhagavan,
कुछ
like
रोग हो जाए तो हम देख
if
नहीं
there is
सकते,
some disease in
उस
your
रोग
eye,
को दूर करना है,
then you cannot
वो
see
रोग तो
properly.
पहले से ही है,
So the
इसी
disease
प्रकार भगवान तो
has to be
सर्वव्यापी है
removed.
और
So Bhagavan is
हृदय सन्निविष्ट सबके हृदय में बैठे हुए हैं,
omnipresent.
तो प्राप्त
He is everywhere. He is sitting in our heart
माया
also.
से आवृत हैं, ढके हुए हैं,
So he is already
इसलिए हम
there,
देख
but
नहीं
we are
पाते,
just covered by
अज्ञान
his
हटा
Maya.
जाएगा,
So if that covering
और
can
शक्ति
be,
रहित छोड़कर
that covering will be removed
कार्य
if
करेंगे
we act
और कर्मार्पण
with detachment for the pleasure of
हमारी उनसे
Bhagavan,
शक्ति, क्योंकि
offer the karma to him,
भगवान प्राप्ति में और कोई बाधा नहीं
then
है, हमारी
our
इच्छा है,
attachment will go away.
वासनाएं,
Because there is no other obstacle to attaining Bhagavan except our desires for
हमारे सामने
enjoying.
है, नहीं तो वो तो सबसे निकट है,
That's why he is so far from us. Otherwise, he is actually the
इसलिए
closest to us. Nobody is as close
इसलिए
to us as Bhagavan.
प्राप्ति संभव है, लेकिन
That's
कैसे
why
कर्म,
it
जैसे
is
उसी
possible
समय
to
से
attain
जिस
Bhagavan
तरह
by
से कहा,
karma.
नहीं तो
But how
कैसे
karma should be performed? It should be performed the way he is
और
teaching.
भगवान
Otherwise, everyone is performing karma all the
सर्वत्र
time.
उपलब्ध है,
So
इसलिए
Bhagavan Vasudev is everywhere.
वो प्राप्त नहीं हो सकते हैं।
So it is not that he cannot be
तो ये
attained,
लोक संग्रह
achieved by
जो
karma.
शब्द आया है इसमें,
Now here there is a word Lok
इसको
Sangraha.
समझना आवश्यक है,
It is important to understand
विशेष
this.
तौर
especially
आज के समय में।
in today's context.
तो लोक संग्रह का मतलब होता है लोगों को एकत्रित करना वास्तव में।
Lokasangraha actually means to collect people together.
एकत्रित करने का मतलब यहाँ पर है कि उनको धर्म में लगाना।
So here collecting them together actually means engaging them in dharma.
ऐसा कार्य करें कि हमारे
We
कार्य
act in such a
देखकर
way that by
दूसरे लोग
seeing
भी
us,
प्रभावित
our
हों
activity, others
और
also
धर्म का
become
आचरण करें।
influenced and they follow dharma.
विहित कर्म है उसको करना।
So the karma
भगवान
which should be done, which is prescribed,
अपने
the
अपने
prescribed
कर्म
karma,
में स्थित रहें
people
और
remain
समाज के
situated
आगामी ना हो,
in their own position
यानी कि
and
जो
they do not
शुभ
deviate.
कर्म है उसको ना करें।
Not deviating means
ऐसा हमारा
not
आचरण हो
not performing prohibited
तो
karma.
उससे
If
लोग
our
हमारे ऊपर बहुत प्रभाव पड़ता है।
character can be like this, if we can have this type of character that we do
तो यहाँ
not
लोक
perform
संग्रह का मतलब
prohibited
ऐसा नहीं
karma,
है कि मैं
then
बहुत सारे
people will
लोगों
be
को इकट्ठा
influenced.
कराऊं।
Here Lokasangraha
बहुत
does
सारे
not
लोग
mean
कहते हैं
that we make lot of
लोगों को इकट्ठा
followers.
करना,
Some people explain like this also.
वो कहते हैं
Lokasangraha
कि
means
मैं ऐसा
make
आचरण
a
करूंगा कि
crowd,
लोग मेरे अनुयायी बन
act
जाएं।
or behave in such a
ऐसा
way
नहीं करना है।
that people become your followers.
इसका
No,
तात्पर्य
Bhagavan
ये
is
है
not
कि
speaking
आपका
about that.
आचरण देखकर दूसरे
His
करने को
point is
प्रभावित
that
हों।
by seeing
तो
your
ये अर्जुन जो
character,
है
others will also
वही
be inspired
श्रेष्ठ
to follow
व्यक्ति है।
dharma. Because Arjun is
जैसा
a
वो कर्म
person
करेगा उसका
of very
परिणाम
high
दोनों को ही
status.
पड़ेगा।
So the way he will
इसी के
act,
लिए भगवान
others will
यहाँ
also
कहते
be
हैं
affected by
कि
that.
लोक संग्रह के लिए भी कार्य करना
So
चाहिए।
Bhagavan is telling that you should perform
लेकिन
karma
ये है कि
to inspire other
कुछ
people
लोग
to
ऐसे भी
perform
हैं
dharma.
जिनको कर्म करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, जैसे भगवान ने
Because there
स्पष्ट
are some
कहा नहीं
people who
नहीं
do not need to
नहीं
perform
कश्चित
karma.
केन
Like
अर्थात
Bhagavan told earlier,
यह क्वेश्चन है कि जो व्यक्ति
the
सिद्ध हो गया
person
है,
who has become perfect,
जीवन मुक्त हो गया है,
who is a Jivan Mukta,
उसको
liberated
किसी
while being in this
दूसरे की
body
आवश्यकता
itself,
नहीं है।
that person does not
लेकिन
is not bound by
लोग
any
ऐसे
vidhi
लोग हैं जो
nishad,
उसका
any
पालन
prescriptions or
करना पड़ता है
prohibitions. But the way he
और
will
वो
act
बहुत
will
उसका
impact,
उत्तरदायित्व
it will
है कि
influence
वो
others
ऐसा
also.
करे
So it's a great
जिससे लोग
responsibility
प्रभावित
on
हों।
him. He should not perform karma in such a way, or he should not perform that
यही
type
लोक
of
संग्रह
karma that will confuse people, that will bewilder them.
यानी कि ऐसा कार्य
This
करें
is
जिससे
called Lokasangraha,
लोग
meaning
सही मार्ग
you
पर
behave,
चलें,
you act in such a way
उनको
that
सही शिक्षा
people
मिले।
walk on the right path
तो
of
इसलिए
dharma,
भी अर्जुन को
they get the
करना
right
पड़ता है, क्योंकि
education.
अर्जुन एक
So for
धर्मी
that reason also Arjun
योद्धा था
should perform karma,
और अगर
because
वो
Arjun was
अपना
a
कर्म छोड़ देता
famous
है
warrior, and if he gives
तो
up
दूसरे
his
लोग भी उसी
karma,
के
his
अनुयायी
duty, then others will also give up their duties. They
अनुसरण
will also
करेंगे।
say that why do I need to
हाँ, वो
perform my duty
तो
when such a
ऐसा
great
किया जाता है।
warrior like
तो
Arjun
इसलिए भगवान ये एक तर्क दे
is
रहे हैं,
acting
ये
like
एक तर्क
this?
है कर्म करने का
So this is also
कि जो
a
लोग
very important
समाज
reason
में
for performing karma. So those who are leaders in
जिनको
the
समाज में कुछ
society,
मान्यता प्राप्त है,
or who
चाहे वो
occupy
पंडित हों, चाहे वो राजनेता हों
important posts
या गुरु
like
हों,
teacher
ज्ञानी
or
हों, तो
politician,
उनके ऊपर ये बहुत बड़ा उत्तरदायित्व रहता
so
है
it's a great
कि
responsibility on
वो
them
ऐसा काम ना
that
करें
they
जिससे
do not
लोगों के
act in
ऊपर
a
उसका
way
प्रभाव पड़े।
that
हालांकि उनके ऊपर चाहे उसका कोई
creates a
प्रभाव
negative
पड़े
samskara in
लेकिन
people.
समाज पर उसका असर आता है, तो
Although they
उसको
themselves may not be
रोकना चाहिए।
influenced by such
तो
action, but
इसीलिए
others,
भगवान
the general crowd does
आगे
get influenced. So this is the point
आगे वाले
that in
श्लोक
the
में बताते
next
हैं
verse, Bhagavan is explaining this
कि
in more detail.
यहाँ पे कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया है इसका 20। तो यदेदाचरति श्रेष्ठ तत्तदेवितरो जनः स यत् प्रमाणम कुरुते लोकस्तदनु वर्तते। तो भगवान कहते हैं कि श्रेष्ठ व्यक्ति
Translation:
जैसा आचरण करता है, श्रेष्ठ व्यक्ति जो भी कार्य करता है सामान्य जन उसका अनुकरण करते हैं,
whatever
ऐसा
action a
करना
great
चाहिए।
person
अगर
performs, the general populace is
सामान्य जन उसका
emulates.
अनुसरण करें,
Whatever standard such an eminent
तो
person
यहाँ जो
sets,
मुख्य बात
common
है
people
वो
follow.
आचरण की बात है,
So here
आचरण
the
की बात
main
है।
point is about acharan.
तो ये महत्वपूर्ण शब्द है इस श्लोक का।
This is
क्योंकि
the
हमारा
important
सारा
word in
जीवन
this
कर्मों के
verse
ऊपर प्रभाव
because
डालता है। वो कहते हैं
our
हर एक व्यक्ति का आचरण
behavior,
किसी न किसी
our
रूप में
acharan
प्रभावित करता ही
influences
करता है।
others. Actually,
लेकिन जो
every
श्रेष्ठ
action influences somebody or the other. But
मान्यता प्राप्त है, जिनको सम्मान मिला
especially
है,
the important people in the
साधुजन
sense they are
संत
occupying important
देवता,
posts in the
उन पर
society,
आचरण का बहुत बड़ा प्रभाव
their
पड़ता है।
behavior, their actions have great
इसलिए
impact in the society.
मनु महाराज
That is
कहते हैं
why
मनुस्मृति में कि
in
यथास्थिति
Manusmriti,
सदाचार
Manusji says
स्वस्य प्रिय आत्मनः एतत् चतुर्विधम प्राहु साक्षात धर्मस्य लक्षणम। जब वो कहते हैं कि धर्म क्या है, इसको
when
कहाँ से समझा जाता है, तो उन्होंने
he is
बोला कि
explaining that
धर्म
what is dharma, how do I understand
शास्त्र
dharma.
है, एक
So
वेद है,
Manuji says that there are
एक
four
स्मृति है
sources for understanding dharma: Ved,
और
Smriti,
एक आचरण
and the third is
सदाचार।
Acharan, Sadachar.
तो आचरण के ऊपर वो बहुत बल देते हैं
So he places lot of emphasis on
और वो
Acharan,
समझाते हैं कैसे
on
आचरण
behavior.
से असर पड़ता है।
He explains
एक
how
व्यक्ति को ऐसा
Acharan or
आचरण
behavior
करना चाहिए
influences others. So a
जिससे
person should
किसी
not
की
act in
संतुष्टि नहीं
such
होती।
a way
कई
which
बार
does
व्यक्ति
not
ये समझ नहीं
satisfy
पाता है कि कौन सा
himself
कर्म
only.
ठीक है, कौन सा गलत है।
Often we do not understand what we should do, what we should not
वो
do.
कहते हैं यत् कर्म
So he
कुर्वोषि
Manuji gives
स्यात्
a wi-
संतोषो अंतरात्मन तत्प्रयत्वेन कुर्वीत विपरीतम तु वर्जयेत। वो कहते हैं कि
so
जिसको
Manuji
करने
gives a
से
method to understand how to
संतुष्टि है
decide.
अपने मन में, वो करना
He
चाहिए।
says that
और समझते हैं कि
do
नहीं,
that which satisfies
वो
you,
मत करना
and
चाहिए,
what
क्योंकि तब आप अपनी
and
बुद्धि, अपने
that
विवेक को
which
आदर
tells
करते हैं।
you that this is not
और
right,
अगर आप
you should
अपनी
not do that,
बुद्धि विवेक
because
को
then you are
आदर नहीं करेंगे
disrespecting your
तो
intelligence.
आप
If you do not
पतन
respect
की
your
ओर
own
जाएंगे।
intelligence, then you will fall down.
तो इसलिए जो चार उन्होंने
That is why
स्रोत बताए धर्म के,
the
उसमें
four sources that
सबसे
Manuji
पहले आता है
explained,
जो आपको प्रिय लगता है।
that
हम
do
जिस
that
कर्म
action
की
which
बात
is
कर रहे हैं यहाँ
priya
पर,
to you.
ये भक्ति योग का प्रकरण नहीं है, तो उसको भी
He is
करना चाहिए।
explained talking about karma yoga,
लेकिन
not
क्या
bhakti
होता है कि
yoga.
लोग कर्म के बारे में
So this should be understood.
ये सोचते हैं कि
Otherwise,
छोटा काम है,
people
इसको
think
मैं नहीं करूंगा,
this is
कोई दूसरा कर रहा है, कोई बड़ा कर रहा
inferior
है,
act.
उसको हम बड़ा
I will
मानते
not
हैं,
do
वो
that.
छोटा है, वही मेरे को करना चाहिए।
I will do only
ये
that
एक
what the
समाज
great
में
person
बड़ी
is
समस्या है।
doing. This is also a problem in the society.
अब ये जो हमारा जो वर्णाश्रम धर्म यहाँ था भारत में,
The
तो
Varnashram
उसके
dharma, which
विरोधी
was
लोग जो हैं,
existing
इसलिए
earlier,
लोगों को ये
people
भ्रम है
say
कि
in opposition to Varnashram
कुछ
dharma
नहीं कर रहा है,
that Brahmana is simply giving lecture and
इसलिए
Shudra
ये
is
क्यों नहीं करना
working
चाहिए,
hard.
या
Why
इसलिए
will
जो
Shudra not give
यहाँ पर
class, not give lecture?
बताया गया है।
And women were being
तो
oppressed
ये
in their society.
वास्तव में ये व्यक्ति समझते नहीं है
So these
कि
people
कर्म
who
कोई
place,
छोटा बड़ा
who
नहीं
give
है।
such, make such accusations, they don't
कर्म का
understand
उद्देश्य
that karma is not small, inferior, or superior.
अगर
Inferior
आपका
or
उद्देश्य
superior
बड़ा
is
है,
your goal. If your goal
कोई
is
कठिन
great,
कर्म हो
that then
और
no
उससे आप
matter
समझते हैं कि मैं
how
तो वही करूंगा,
insignificant that karma is, if the karma
तो
is
वहां
helping
पर
you to achieve
उसको
your goal, your great goal,
करना नहीं है।
then that karma is also great. But if your goal
उसको
is not great,
अपने
no
उद्देश्य
matter
को
how
समझना
great
चाहिए
karma you are
कि आप
doing
क्या
to
कर रहे हैं।
achieve your goal, there is no use of that. So
और
actually, so the
उद्देश्य
main point
हमारा
is we have to remain focused on our
और
goal.
उसके लिए जो
So
भी
if
करना
our
है
goal is
अपने
to
जीवन में
achieve
उतारना
Bhagavan,
चाहिए,
to attain Bhagavan,
क्योंकि
then
सबकी अपनी
whatever
अपनी
action you
योग्यता है।
do to attain Bhagavan, that
हर
action is
व्यक्ति की,
great
और
because every person
ये जो
has
व्यवस्था बनाई
different
गई है,
capabilities,
ये व्यवस्था
and
बनाई गई
the
है,
system that has been created, the
इसका
system of
सिद्धांत
Varnashram Dharma, that system has been
इसमें
created
आज की
by
परिस्थिति में
division of
हर
Adhikar.
एक व्यक्ति की अपनी अपनी योग्यता है और
Every
जो
person
आचरण
has
करता है
different
उसमें वही
capabilities.
बड़ा है।
So if you
तो
act
सिस्टम
according to your
ऐसा है।
capability, that action is great
अब ये जो
because
इक्वलिटी
that
है
is helping you
सबके
to achieve
अंदर,
your goal. Nowadays, people are
सब चाहते हैं
propagating
कि
equal rights. Everyone
जो
should have the same
सोचते हैं कि मैं
adhikar.
भी
Then
इसमें
every person thinks that why can I also
जिसकी
not do
योग्यता नहीं
this?
होगी
What
वो
the other
दूसरा
one is
करेगा।
doing. But if he does not
ये जो
possess the
हमारा चलता
qualification to
है
perform that activity,
कि
he'll be get into
स्त्रियों को
trouble.
मुक्त करो, वुमेन
So
लिबरेशन,
nowadays, this competition is
ये
there
अधिकार है
to
सबका
liberate
स्वाधिकार
women.
प्राप्त करने
No,
का,
everybody has the
लेकिन जिस
adhikar,
चीज की योग्यता नहीं
the
है
qual
उसको
to
तुम जबरदस्ती उसमें लगाओगे और फिर
to
उसमें
achieve
एक
Bhagavan.
गौरव अनुभव करोगे
But if you
कि अगर अब इसके लिए भी पुरुष का साथ देना ही
forcefully
है
forcefully engage women
तो वो
also
भी मुक्त हो
in
जाएगी।
performing the acts that men are doing, then does the women
देखो
become
ये
liberated by doing that? How would you
जो
call that
ये
as liberation?
सोच रही अगर स्त्री पुरुष जैसे कपड़े पहने,
If women start wearing dresses like men, will they become equal to men?
उसकी अपनी योग्यता है, स्त्री की अपनी योग्यता
Men
है,
have their own
ये है,
capabilities, women have
वो
their own
करेंगे
capabilities. If
तो हम उनको
both
दे सकते हैं
perform,
पहुंचेंगे।
act according to
आजकल
their
जो आध्यात्मिक
capability, then they
संस्थाएं
can
हैं
achieve
उनमें
the
बहुत
goal.
एक
Nowadays, in the
संवाद
spiritual
विवाद,
institutions, there is a
कहते
great
हैं कि
debate
पुरुष को
going
करना
on
चाहिए, स्त्री को भी
that
संन्यास लेना
female
चाहिए,
should also become
स्त्री को
guru,
भी
female
संन्यास
should
लेना
also
चाहिए,
take sannyas.
लेकिन
So do
इसलिए
that.
वो
I am not opposing that. They do it, but
स्त्री को
don't do it
संन्यास इसलिए
just
नहीं लेना
because
चाहिए
men
क्योंकि
are
हर
also
पुरुष
doing it.
संन्यास लेता है।
Women should
अगर
not take
स्त्री
sannyas
किसी
just
पुरुष को
because the man
संन्यास
is
लेता
also
है
taking sannyas.
और ये तर्क
If a
करता
woman
है
is taking sannyas just by this logic, that if a man is doing, then why can I not do? That logic,
इसका
that
मतलब वो
mentality is
ये
wrong. That means, that simply means that she is already considering
स्वयं
herself
करने की
inferior to the man.
भाव है।
She already has that
ये
feeling of inferiority. That's why she is speaking like this.
पुरुष को भी कहना चाहिए कि मैं
Otherwise,
संन्यास लूंगा,
the
स्त्री को भी
man should
कहना चाहिए
also be
कि
saying
हमको भी नहीं लेना
that
चाहिए।
since women are not taking sannyas, we will also not
ऐसा
take
नहीं है,
sannyas. They are not telling like that.
पुरुष तो स्कर्ट नहीं पहनता है,
Men are not wearing skirts.
लिपस्टिक नहीं लगाता, आजकल कुछ लगाते हो लेकिन
Men don't apply lipstick. Maybe some people,
तो
some men do that
जब वो
nowadays,
सोचने लगेगा
but
कि मैं भी
generally
लगाऊंगा
no.
तो वो भी
But the
संन्यास
day
ले
the
लेगा।
men also start thinking like this, that
तो जो दूसरे की
then
नकल
they will
करता
also
है
start applying lipstick. So if you are
उसको
simply imitating
अपने से
others,
श्रेष्ठ समझ रहा है।
that means when you imitate somebody, then you are also
ऐसा
already
करना चाहिए
considering yourself inferior to the other person. So I am not
जो
opposing
ले
this
उसको
idea
लेना
of
चाहिए।
woman taking sannyas or
इसका
becoming
मतलब
guru.
ये नहीं होना
If
चाहिए
she
कि पुरुष
has
भी
the
बोले मैं भी संन्यास लूंगा,
qualification,
मैं भी
she
गया,
should do that.
पुरुष ट्रक
But
चलाते हैं तो मैं
it
भी ट्रक
should
चलाऊंगा,
not be done just because men are doing that.
सेना में
If
जाना
men
है तो मैं भी
are
संन्यास
driving
लूंगा।
trucks, I will also drive truck. If men are joining the army, I will also join the army. So this
इसका मतलब
logic is not correct.
कर्म को छोटा समझ रहा
That
है, अपने
means
कर्म
she
को
is already considering
उसका
her
कर्म
karma
छोटा
to be
समझ रहा है।
inferior and the karma of the
ऐसा नहीं है,
man to be
कर्म तो inferior
superior.
होता ही नहीं है,
But
ऐसा
actually,
थोड़ा
karma
है।
is not inferior or superior. Bhagavan is driving
घोड़ा था आंकड़ा तो
Arjuna's
घोड़ा कैसे
chariot.
बड़ा है,
So,
समाज में तो
is
सबसे बड़ा घोड़ा
driving
ही है।
some superior karma in the society?
भगवान उस
Driving is not considered some great
एक
karma.
भक्त के
But
लिए सब
what is
बहुत
Bhagavan's goal?
संतुष्ट
His
होता है
goal
कि
is
भगवान जो भी
to do
करेंगे
seva for
वो
his
उसके अनुकूल
devotee.
हो जाएगा,
So that's why
क्योंकि वो स्वयं बड़े हैं।
whatever he will do, it will be
यदि वो
great.
स्वयं
Why?
ऐसे
Because he
हैं
himself is great.
तो जो
So
भी
if
करेंगे
when a
वो
person
स्वयं
is
हो जाएगा।
situated in himself or herself, whatever he or she does
तो इसलिए हमें
is
योग
great
को
only.
अपने मन से निकाल देना चाहिए।
So we should get rid of this
जो
mentality.
व्यक्ति आध्यात्मिक मार्ग में आया है
The person who
उसको
has
चाहिए
come on the spiritual path,
कि कृपया
we should ask
बताइए कि
that
आप
person,
आध्यात्मिक मार्ग में किस लिए आए, तो
why
हम
have
भगवत
you
प्राप्त करने, भगवत प्राप्ति करने के लिए आए।
taken to
तो
spirituality?
जब
So
आप
you may
उसको
say that I want to
बताएंगे
get
कि मेरा एक
bhakti.
लक्ष्य था कि मेरे को सन्यासी बनना है,
When so we should ask him, when you came to
मेरे को
this
गुरु
path,
बनना है इसलिए
did
आया हूँ,
you come here to
और ये
become a
सब स्त्री पुरुष के
sannyasi
लिए है,
or to become a guru?
पुरुष भी
And
लड़कों
this
को
question is
स्त्री पुरुष के
applicable
लिए है।
on men and women both, because even men are fighting among themselves that why can I not take sannyas?
या
Why
सन्यासी
can
बनना
I
है,
not become guru? So the question is
तो
that did
उद्देश्य के
you
लिए आए थे,
take to
उद्देश्य
spirituality
प्राप्त
to
करने
become
के
a
लिए आए थे,
sannyasi or a
और उस
guru?
उद्देश्य के बाद
Whatever goal you had,
वो भी
you
इच्छा
just
होती है कि
continue
आचार्य बनना है
performing
या
your
सन्यासी बनना
duty
है तो लीजिए,
in that to
लेकिन अगर
attain
आपका
that
मूल
goal, and
उद्देश्य
in the
है
performance of that duty, if you have to become a guru or sannyasi or acharya, then do that.
मेरे को
But
थोड़ा सा
if
उद्देश्य
becoming a
प्राप्त करना
guru
है,
or the leader of
तो फिर
some
आप
temple or
उस
matha, if that itself becomes your
मार्ग
goal,
से भटक गए,
then you have deviated from your
तो
goal.
वास्तव में वो आपका पतन है, सही मायने
So
में।
that is your real fall down.
तो इसलिए श्रेष्ठ पुरुष को ये ध्यान में रखना है कि मैं ऐसा
That's
कार्य
why
ना करूं
a
कि
a
जिससे मेरा
person in a
उसके
great
अंदर
important
भेद
position
भावना आ
should
जाए कि हमको वही
understand
करना है,
this
वो
principle
गलत
and
बात
not
है।
act
काय
in
के
the
लिए
wrong way,
हम
because then the common public will also
कोई
start
चीज
thinking
सिद्ध
like that.
करना चाहते हैं लेकिन हमारे अंदर उसकी योग्यता नहीं है या वो निषिद्ध है, हमको नहीं करना
Because
चाहिए,
generally what happens is
लेकिन कोई महान पुरुष अगर उसको करता है तो फिर हम उसका उदाहरण देते हैं कि देखो वो भी तो कर रहा है तो मैं
when
क्यों
we
नहीं
want to
करूंगा।
do something but we do not have the qualification
तो
to do
इसलिए
that,
जो
we take the example of some other
जो
great
अगर जो
person who
करता
is
है
doing the
उसका
same
उसमें
thing,
कोई प्रभाव नहीं
and
पड़ता,
we say if he is doing that, why can I
उसको जो
not do
प्राप्त
that?
करना था वो प्राप्त कर लिया, वो विभिन्न
So if the
देश
great
काल
person is doing that,
हो सकता
who
है
is
ऐसे व्यक्ति
who may be beyond the prescriptions and prohibitions, he may not be influenced or affected by doing that, but the common public get influenced by doing that. That's why people in great positions who are beyond prescriptions and prohibitions, they should behave responsibly. When I was in ISKCON, that time chocolate, coke, etc., they were prohibited. But one day I saw a devotee, he was drinking 7 Up. So I asked, why are you drinking 7 Up? So he said that Prabhupada drank 7 Up. So once it happened that Srila Prabhupada was in the plane and he took one 7 Up. Maybe he might have taken just to see what is this 7 Up, what is its taste. I mean, had no attachment to 7 Up or anything. So that story spread in the entire institution. Prabhupada has taken 7 Up, so we can also take 7 Up. So they started saying that Coke is not allowed, 7 Up is allowed. Because why? Because Prabhupada had taken. So we can also take. So that is why Bhagavan is telling here that whatever a great man performs, others also copy that. That's why a great person has to be very careful in his behavior. He has much greater responsibility compared to others. Everybody watches a great man, what he is doing. And if you are doing something that an ordinary person should not do, then you should remember that if I do this, the ordinary person will also start saying that if the great person is doing this, why can I not do that? People will start giving this logic. For some good activity, people do not say that he is doing so much bhakti, so much seva, so I also do. No. But if that great person is doing something which is prohibited for the common public, for that the common person immediately makes the logic that because he is doing, I will also do. Because he already has the inclination to do that prohibited action, but he is not getting support from anywhere. So when he sees that some great person is doing that, then he gets the support and he starts copying that action. So you'll see that in society we always hear that we should speak the truth. In any religion, that nobody says that we should speak lie. Everybody says that we should be truthful. We should not be deceitful. We should not cheat. We should help others. We should not envy others. These kinds of instructions are heard everywhere. In no religious book will you hear that we should speak lie or we should kill others or we should plunder somebody's wealth. But still, so many people in the society are doing this. Even people in the spiritual path also do all these prohibited actions. Why? Nobody taught this. So if nobody taught this, then why are people behaving like this? What is being taught? What is being taught? What is being instructed? That has very less influence. But what is not being taught, in fact, what is being prohibited, like do not speak lie, don't exploit others, but still people are doing these prohibited actions so rampantly. What is the reason? Reason is one only, that people who are at the top posts, maybe a little bit superior to us, they are working like this, speaking lie. Then immediately we get this idea, we start copying this. There is a child in the family, the father does not want to talk, and he tells the child that please tell that I am not at home. And the father says to the child that you should not speak a lie, and then he is telling the child that please tell that I am not at home. So which will have more impact, speaking or behaving? behavior has more influence. Words do not have so much influence.
स्वामी श्री राम सुखदास जी एक बहुत बढ़िया
Swami
उदाहरण
Shri
देते हैं,
Ram Sukdas ji
बहुत अच्छा
gives
लगता है। वो
a
कहते हैं
great
कि एक
example.
प्रवचन
He
करता है,
says, those who only give lectures but
वो इस
do
तरह से
not
है जैसे
behave
कि एक
properly,
खिलौना
they
बंदूक
are
होती है, टॉय गन।
like a toy gun.
तो जो टॉय गन या खिलौना बंदूक है उसको अगर आप चलाओगे तो
If
आवाज करती
you
है, मारती नहीं है।
the toy gun makes sound, but actually it
लेकिन जो
cannot hit any
असली
bullet.
बंदूक होती है
But the
उसको जब आप चलाओगे वो आवाज भी करती है,
real
मारती
gun
भी है।
will make sound also and it will kill also. But
तो
toy
इसी
gun only
तरह
makes sound, it cannot
जो
kill.
प्रवचन करता है और
So
आचरण नहीं करता है
those who give
वो
lectures and behave also
मारती है।
appropriately, they have
लेकिन जो केवल
more
प्रवचन करता है,
influence. Those who only give lectures but do not behave
प्रचार और
properly,
आचार,
those who only do prachar
चर धातु से ही है,
but do not no achar.
दोनों
Both the
आते हैं।
words are from char
और
dhatu.
आचरण
Both
करना
are
चाहिए,
important, and acharan is more
क्योंकि
important
आम व्यक्ति जो है उसको आपका उपदेश समझ आए ना आए,
because the common public,
आप पढ़े हुए
whether
हो
he
ना ना आए,
understands your
आचरण आपका
instruction,
उपदेश समझ
understands the
में आए।
shastras or no, but
इसलिए
he will
भगवान ने
observe your acharan, your
उदाहरण
behavior.
दिया।
Why did Bhagavan
क्योंकि
give the
अर्जुन ने
example
कहा
of
ऐसे
Janaka?
कैसे सिद्धि हो जाएगी, तो भगवान ने
Because
उदाहरण दिया
Arjun
जनक का।
started thinking, how can I achieve perfection by
तो
karma?
हमारे दिमाग
So
में एक
Bhagavan
ख्याल
said,
आता है कि अच्छा जनक
take the
महाराज
example of
ऐसे ही करते
Janaka.
थे,
So then
तो
this
हमको भी
becomes
ऐसा
ingrained in
करना
our
चाहिए।
mind that okay, Janak Maharaj was like this, so I should
तो
behave
इसलिए इसको
like,
उदाहरण
I should act like
आचरण
Janak Maharaj. That is why
इसके
example
लिए
is
भगवान
important in
इसको क्या
society.
करते हैं, बहुत ही
That is why
अच्छे
Bhagavan
तरीके
is
से यदि
telling
आपको
this
सुनना ही
verse.
था तत्तदेव इतरो जन। तो इसलिए कोई भी जो
So
विशेष तौर
that
से
is
जो
why,
आध्यात्मिक मार्ग पर हैं
especially
उनको इस
people
बात
on
का
the
ध्यान
spiritual
रखना
path,
चाहिए
they
कि
should
जैसे
be
बहुत
very
से लोग
careful
आते हैं
of this point.
समाज से और
People come to the
जब
spiritual
हम
path
हमारे
from the
जीवन को
ordinary society only,
देखते हैं, हमारे
and
समाज
when
को
they
देखते हैं,
say
तो तुरंत
defects,
कहते हैं
when they
कि
see defects in the sadhus,
इस
defects in the
समय
devotees, then say,
और
what is the use of all these sadhus?
गृहस्थी लोग
We
हैं,
are better than these
गृहस्थी लोगों में
sadhus.
कुछ अगर देखते हैं कुछ
Because I
ऐसा
have
होता
heard
है,
this so many times.
कुछ ऐसा होता है,
Grihasthas, they come
तो
and
तुरंत
they
कहते हैं
see devotees fighting among
ऐसे
each
नहीं
other
करना
and then
चाहिए,
say, what is the use
हमारा
of all
धर्म
this
ऐसे है
devotee and sadhu?
और हम
We
कैसे
are
करें,
far better
ऐसा
than these
नहीं है।
people. Did we come to
तो
this
आचरण
temple or
का बहुत
matha
महत्व
to
है,
see all this? So, Acharan has great
इसलिए
importance.
आचार्य शब्द जो हमारे यहाँ संस्कृत में है वो उसी से
That is why in
आचार शब्द
Sanskrit we have this word
चर धातु से ही बना है,
Acharya.
तो
The
ये
word Acharya comes
शास्त्र
from
अर्थ
Char
है।
Dhatu.
आचार्य स्थाप्यत्यपि स्वयं आचरते चैव तेन आचार्य कीर्तितः। आचार्य किसको कहते हैं, जो शास्त्र के जो अर्थ हैं उनका व्याख्यान करता है,
So Acharya means one who
उनको अपने आचरण
explains
में
the artha
उतारता है, स्वयं
of
उसका आचरण
Shastra
करता है
and also
और फिर अपने
imbibes that
शिष्यों से
behavior in his own
से
life
भी आचरण करवाता है।
and teaches, engages the
आचार्य
students also
स्थाप्यति,
to behave accordingly,
तो इसलिए
according
उसको
to Shastra. So such a person is called Acharya.
केवल ऐसे ही नहीं कि टाइटल ले लिया, बहुत लोगों ने
Acharya
टाइटल
is
ले लिया,
not just a title
तो
because many
उसको
people
हम
gave
उसको
vote
बोलते हैं
to
आचार्य।
become that you become guru, so he becomes
इसलिए
guru.
भगवान ने जो पिछले श्लोक में कहा था लोक संग्रह में वापि संपश्यन कर्तुम यह अर्हसि, उसी का संबंध इस श्लोक से
So in
है।
the previous verse, when
तो
Bhagavan
लोक
spoke of
संग्रह में
Loka
ऐसा होता है
Sangraha, this verse is
तो
connected
वही
with that
है
Loka
आचार्य।
Sangraha. So how will Loka Sangraha happen?
मनुष्य की एक प्रकृति
It
है
will happen by acharan, by our practical
वो है
behavior.
दूसरे की नकल करना।
So human being has a tendency of
और विशेष तौर
imitating
से बच्चे
others.
जो छोटे बच्चे हैं
Especially
उनको देखा होगा कि
children,
माँ बाप की
you
नकल
might have
करते हैं,
seen, they start imitating the
जब देखते हैं
parents.
मंदिर में
Often I see
कोई
that in temple
आते हैं पति पत्नी, उनका छोटा बच्चा है,
a
वो
couple
देखते हैं
comes
माँ
and they
बाप
have
की
a
छोटे
small
बच्चे की
child.
नकल
If
करते
they pay obeisances, the child also
हैं।
pays
आते हैं ये क्या
obeisances.
है प्रणाम
Now the
करना है,
child doesn't
लेकिन वो देखता
understand
है
what
बच्चे हैं
is
तो वो
the
देखता
meaning
है।
of paying obeisances, but he is just imitating the
तो ये एक
parents.
स्वभाव है मनुष्य का
So this is human
दूसरों की
tendency
नकल करना,
to imitate
और
others,
ये अनुकरण करना,
and
नकल करना, ये
imitating,
बच्चे का
following
दोष
others.
नहीं है।
This is not just a
बच्चे
child's
अगर बड़ों को
tendency.
ज्यादा देखते हैं लेकिन
We
एक्चुअली
may
वो
see
उनसे
that
ही
more
सीखते
in
हैं,
a child,
तब भी
but
हम
when a
देखते
child
हैं
grows up, then also he is actually copying
ऐसे
others
बहुत से
only.
लोग हैं
There are very
जो
rare people in the society who are independently thoughtful. They think before acting. Most of the people in society are simply imitating others. Nowadays, there is this fashion of having tattoo. So you see, every person, so many people, they are having tattoos all over their body. So how did he do? Why did he do this? He just saw somebody and make this tattoo. So in my childhood, I saw different type of hairstyle. Now there is different hairstyle. So I see everybody having the same hairstyle. People imitate others dressing. So whatever people are wearing or whatever they do, whatever their desires, it is not actually their own desire. They see others doing that. They either they see on television or in some film, on some advertisement, or or some friend, or maybe they are fan of some celebrity. So nowadays, generally, who are great people? Great people nowadays means like some film celebrity or some big sports person or great musician. Generally, sports, films, and music. Nowadays, people in these three fields are considered very great. So this is a great misfortune because they, in their character, in their life, we do not see any superiority, any greatness. Because one who is attached to matter, according to our Shastra, he cannot be considered Sreshta or great. Here, the Bhagwan is using the word Sreshta. That Sreshta is not the Sreshta what is considered in today's society. In Shastra, Shrestha means one who is detached, one who is not attached to matter. So nowadays, the people consider the people Shrestha. They are fans of such people. Do they have such qualities? Are they not attached to their karma, to the result? They have immense attachment. Those people whom the society considers very great, they have so much attachment. Even if they even if they do not achieve the result according to whatever they wanted, they become disturbed. So if society considers such attached people as very great, then what will be the condition of such a society? So this is our modern society. So the today's political leaders, so you see the political leaders for getting votes, they may go to some place and they may start sweeping the place. So he is not sweeping because he wants to sweep. He is sweeping just to show that please take my photo and then show that on the television. See how much I work. So that is just a show. So he is also doing Loka Sangraha. He also wants to get votes. People should become his followers. So this is not going to benefit anybody. This is not the Lok Sangraha that Bhagavan is speaking of. That there is Rath Yatra, there you go and just do little bit of sweeping and click a photo, and that broomstick is also a very special one because you are a very special person. That is not the Loka Sangraha that Bhagavan is speaking of here. The seva that we should do, the behavior that we should imbibe, it should not just be showing off for showing off to people, because that also happens. Some great person is behaving in a proper way, but just to show off to people. He actually does not have Shraddha in that proper behavior. That is also okay because at least he is giving some proper message in the society. But Bhagavan is watching everything. So this proper behavior, it should come from the heart. So here Bhagavan is speaking.
जैसा राजा होता है वैसी
So
प्रजा
it's a
होती है।
common proverb that
क्योंकि
public
प्रजा राजा की तरफ देखती
emulates
है
the
कि
king.
राजा क्या कर रहा है क्या नहीं करता है। जैसे आजकल के
Because
राजनीतिक
public
दल
watches
हैं,
the king, whatever they are
उनका
doing.
प्रभाव पड़ता है ना
Like
समाज में।
nowadays we have these politicians,
वो
the
सदाचारी होंगे
leaders in
तो समाज
government.
भी सदाचारी हो जाएगा।
If
और
they
अगर वही भविष्य
if
में
they have
समाज में
sadachar,
अच्छी
then the
बनाएंगे
society will also imbibe sadachar.
तो
But if
आज भी
they
समाज में
deviate,
इतनी
public will also deviate.
कुरीतियाँ
So we see
गंदगी
so
है।
many
तो
deviations
ये
in the society nowadays.
इसका एक मूल कारण है कि हम
The
जिनको श्रेष्ठ
one of the
मानते हैं
fundamental
उनको
reasons of
श्रेष्ठ
this
नहीं
is that
समझते।
those whom we
और
consider
यही
shrestha or
समस्या
great
आध्यात्मिक
are
मार्ग में
not
भी है।
actually great, and this is the
ये
problem in the
गलतियां केवल
spiritual path also.
समाज में नहीं है, राजनीति
These
में नहीं है,
deviations are not just in
बल्कि
the
आध्यात्मिक मार्ग
ordinary
में भी है।
society, even in the spiritual
हम
path
सब
the
सुनते
same
हैं
problems are there.
कि जो लोग
We keep
आचार्य
hearing about all
कहलाते
this,
हैं
that people who are gurus
हजारों
or
लाखों
acharyas who are having thousands and
वो
lakhs of
गलत आचरण करते
followers,
हैं
and they behave
तो उससे क्या
in
होता है कि लोगों का
immoral
विश्वास
way, and then their disciples or followers,
विहीन
they
हो जाता
lose the shraddha,
श्रद्धा टूट
they lose
जाती है।
faith in the
बाकी
gurus.
मैं तो सलाह दूंगा कि
Although I
उनकी
will
नीति अगर ठीक है
suggest, I will advise
तो भी
that
हम उनको अपनी श्रद्धा
there
नहीं छोड़नी
even if
चाहिए।
those
क्योंकि
people
हर
do not
व्यक्ति का
have
जीवन है
proper
और
behavior,
उनका
the
जीवन हमारा
common
जीवन है।
public, their followers,
अगर
they should
हम
not
उनका
lose
आचरण
shraddha.
कर रहे
This
हैं
is my advice.
तो
Because
उनका फल उनको मिलेगा।
those who are
इस
not,
प्रकार
those who
जो
are
लोग
gurus or
दूसरा
whatever,
मार्ग त्याग
if they
देते
are
हैं
not following properly, they
जैसे
will
बहुत लोग करते हैं
face their karma.
कि
Why should I
उनका
give, why should the
मार्ग
follower
ठीक नहीं है
lose shraddha? Why should the
उससे
follower
प्रभावित होकर
give
वो
up the spiritual
आध्यात्मिक
path?
मार्ग जो
Because many times it
गलत
happens, the follower or disciple,
कर रहे
he
हैं
gives
उसको
up
छोड़ के फिर वो
spirituality, gives up his bhajan
समाज में जुड़ जाते हैं।
when he observes
तो
that the
ऐसा नहीं
guru
करना
is
चाहिए
immoral.
क्योंकि
So this should not
शास्त्र
happen,
एक वस्तु है, हमारे जीवन
because
में श्रद्धा है।
if we have shraddha in
कोई
shastra,
व्यक्ति जिसमें हमने अपनी श्रद्धा निहित की अगर वो शास्त्र के
if we
अनुसार
have
आचरण
placed
करे तो
shraddha
हमें
in
कम
somebody
से कम
who is
स्वयं
like a
को
guru, if that
परीक्षण करना
person
चाहिए।
is not following
हमें शास्त्र के अनुसार
shastra,
चलते रहना
we
चाहिए
should at least not fall down
और सोचना चाहिए कि भाई उनका कुछ
from the path
कर्म
of
चल रहा है तो
spirituality.
ऐसे हो
We
गया
can simply understand,
क्योंकि
think
हमने
that what he had
आप
some karma or
अगर
whatever,
कमाते हैं तो
he
आप
deviated.
दूसरों के लिए थोड़े
Because we should
कमाते हैं,
remember that we are coming on the
दूसरों
path
के
of
लिए जो करते
spirituality
हैं
for
वो
uplifting
दूसरों के लिए
ourselves,
थोड़े
not
करते हैं।
for others. Like you are eating
इसलिए
food for nourishing your own
समाज में
body,
अच्छा
not
करना
others'
है
bodies.
तो इसलिए हमें
That is
अपना
why
उद्देश्य
we should
दृढ़ रखना चाहिए
be very much
और
determined
दूसरों से
to
सीख लेना
achieve
चाहिए
the goal.
कि जो ऐसा गलत आचरण किसी ने किया है, निषिद्ध आचरण
If
किया है, उससे
somebody
हमें
has
अच्छा लगेगा
behaved
कि
in an
हाँ
immoral way,
ऐसा
being
नहीं
a
करना
guru or
चाहिए,
whatever, then we should
यदि हम
in fact
शास्त्रों
take
को समझते
lesson
हैं
that we should not behave like that. Not that we only start emulating that person
तो
or
ये
we give up our
हमारे
own
जीवन का
path.
ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चीज है।
So that's why this acharan or behavior
तो दो
is
प्रकार के व्यक्ति हो
extremely
सकते हैं।
important. So there may
एक
be
व्यक्ति वो
two
है जो
two
शास्त्रज्ञ
types
है
of people. One
लेकिन
is
आचरण नहीं करता
who
है,
understands, who has learned shastra but
तो
not
उससे भी अगर हमें
following
सीखना चाहिए तो
properly.
लेना चाहिए।
So we can take some lesson
चाणक्य
from
पंडित कहता है
such
कि
a
अगर
person
सोना
also. Chanakya says
वो
that if gold
नाली में पड़ा हुआ है
is, if
तो उसको
gold is in a drain, then
साफ करके
you
फेंकना चाहिए।
take the gold and clean it
अगर अच्छी शिक्षा
and use it. So if you are
जीवन की
getting
शिक्षा भी दे रही
proper
है
lesson, proper
और
instruction, even
दूसरों
from
से
a
कुछ सीखना
child
है तो उसको
or
ग्रहण कर
from
लीजिए
a learned
और
pandit,
उनका आचरण ठीक
then
है तो
you take that.
उसको मत
And if
देखिए,
you see that person is not
अपना
behaving properly, don't take that behavior part.
और दूसरा
You
व्यक्ति
should
है
remain
जो
focused on
शास्त्रज्ञ है
achieving your own goal.
लेकिन उसका
And it may
आचरण
also
अच्छा नहीं
happen
है
that somebody is not a learned
तो
pandit,
उसका हमें
not a
अनुकरण करना
shastragya,
चाहिए
but he has good behavior. Then we should imbibe the good
हो
behavior
सकता
from
है
that person.
कमी हो सकती है
But there may be one
कि वो
problem in that
शास्त्रज्ञ नहीं है,
person,
ये भी
that
संभव
if
है
he is not
कि वो
shastragya,
शास्त्र अनुसार ना हो
then it may
तो इसलिए
happen
हमको
that
ध्यान
his
रखना चाहिए
behavior is not according to
इसमें वो गलती
shastra,
कर सकता है।
because
और तीसरा
we
जो
may
है
make
जिसको
that
आचार्य
mistake.
बोलते हैं वो है जो
And third
शास्त्र
is
के
what
ज्ञान
we
के
call
अनुसार
acharya. Acharya is one who is learned in
वो
shastra
सर्वोत्तम है
also and behaves
और जिसका
appropriately according to shastra
साधु
also.
संत हमको
That is
जिनका
supreme.
संग हमको
If
करना
we can
चाहिए
get association of such an
जिनकी शिक्षा
acharya,
लेनी चाहिए
we
जिनके
must
वचन से भी होती
take
है
that association very
उनको
seriously,
अपना
and we should
ज्ञान प्राप्त करके
uplift ourselves by taking their instructions and imbibing their behavior.
इसी के लिए हम भगवान जो है यहाँ पर बोल रहे हैं, तो
So for this reason, Bhagavan is speaking here.
प्राय करके लोग ये तर्क जो है ना बड़ा मजेदार चीज है.
So logic is something very interesting.
महापुरुष या कोई श्रेष्ठ व्यक्ति ठीक आचरण नहीं करता है तो तर्क देते हैं, वो नहीं कर रहा है तो हम क्यों
When
नहीं
a great person, people give this logic that when the great people are not behaving like this, why should I do that? But actually the logic should be opposite, that whether he acts appropriately or no, why should I act inappropriately? I will act appropriately. I will act according to Shastra.
ये कहते हैं कि वो तो उपवास कर रहा है, एकादशी का
Do people give the logic that he is doing Ekadashi, he is doing fasting, so I will also do? No, they don't speak like that.
करते हैं तो आप ये नहीं कहें कि भाई वो नहीं कर रहा मैं भी नहीं करूंगा.
And if somebody is not doing Ekadashi, you are doing, do you say that he is not doing, so why should I do?
आप सांस लेते हुए
So while eating food, you do not say that he is not eating, so I will also not eat. While breathing, while sleeping, you do not give all that logic. So similarly, you should always take the positive, irrespective of from wherever we are getting it. We should not give the logic that his behavior is not appropriate, so why should I behave appropriately? We should think like this, that even if he is not behaving appropriately, I will behave appropriately. I will act according to Shastra. So we should not get influenced by immoral acts or behaviors of other people. So nowadays we see so much deviation in the society. So Bhagavan is speaking this verse, which is a great verse, and many people quote this verse. This is a very important verse, but we have to actually imbibe this verse in our own life, because it is not that some other person is great and I cannot become great. If I lead a life according to Shastra, I will also become great. And becoming great is also a seva to the society. Because society, what is society? It is just a conglomeration of individual people. Society is not a separate object other than people. It's just a collection of people. So if I am improving myself, if I am uplifting myself, so at least I have contributed to improving some part of the society, because I myself am a part of that society. So that's why it is all of our responsibility to become great, and that is done by imbibing good instructions, by learning from proper instructions, proper behavior, and remaining committed to our path, being remaining determined to achieve the goal. We should not become influenced by people's immoral talks or behavior. But it happens, we get influenced, because nowadays neurobiology says that there are some neurons in human brain, they call them ape neurons. So like monkey apes others, imitates others. So naturally there is a tendency in us to imitate others. And actually, if we analyze properly, then I feel that this was also a logic behind our Varnashram Dharma. So obviously, the child will be according to the parents only. So why not give them a Varna? Give them a name like Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Because if parents are Brahman, then child will obviously also be Brahman, because he is carrying the same DNA, and he will also copy the parents. He'll imitate them. So this is also a Siddhanta behind Varnashram Dharma, although it is not explained like that here. But if you analyze the verse deeply, then you will find that, and we see this also, if somebody's parents are doctors, then the child from childhood only learns so many things about the medical profession. Those people who are Ayurvedic doctors, their children learn so many things about Ayurveda from childhood only. Those who are lawyers, their children learn so many things about law from childhood only, because they keep hearing about all this in their family. So those who are Kshatriyas, their parents, their children used to become Kshatriya from childhood only. They used to imbibe that sort of mindset and behavior. They used to imitate their parents. So this was also a reason, Siddhanta behind the Varnashrama Dharma. And this is truth. This is not just something old-fashioned talks just to provoke the people, to exploit them. No, this is the truth. So that is why
अनुशासन में रखना है,
if we want to keep the society in discipline, then we need leaders who will be shreshthas. Nowadays, we have a great deficiency of shrestha people in the society. Earlier, those who were kings,
जैसे युधिष्ठिर महाराज है, मैं एक छोटी सी
they were very religious,
समाप्त करूंगा,
dharmic.
समय भी हो
So
गया कि युधिष्ठिर महाराज जैसे
I'll tell this small story. You know about Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj, he lost in the game of dice, and he was exiled for 12 years and he had to live incognito for 1 year. So the Pandavas, they had to live incognito, and if Duryodhan can find them out and recognize their identity, then again the Pandavas will have to be in exile for 12 years. So when the Pandavas were in living incognito in the Virat kingdom,
कहाँ पर हैं ये लोग, क्योंकि एक तो इतने वीर पुरुष और विशिष्ट पुरुष
so Duryodhan tried a lot to find out these people,
तो वो तो शरीर से भी बड़ा,
because these people were so famous, and Bhima had such a well-built body.
अरे ये कौन आ गया,
He was so powerful that obviously it would be very difficult for him to live incognito. People would recognize him easily. But still, Bhima lived as a cook.
वो तो है,
He hid himself as a cook. And Arjuna went into
करने लगा,
LGBTQ. He started wearing sari, applying lipstick, and he was dancing.
बेचारा इतना
So Arjun, such a great warrior, he had to do all this. Nakul and Sahadev, they were working in the for the horses,
उनके साथ में,
and Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was like a servant to the king.
दुर्योधन को एक सूत्र बताया कि अगर तुमको युधिष्ठिर का पता लगाना है तो ये है पता लगाने का, कहता आप ये पता लगाइए कि
So Bhishma told Duryodhan that there is only one way to recognize Yudhishthir. Find out which is that kingdom in which everyone is performing dharma, acting according to dharma. No theft, no robbery, everybody is prosperous. Everybody, people, everywhere people are discussing Shastra. If you find any kingdom like this, immediately you can understand that Yudhishthir is there only. So Bhishma had so tremendous faith in Yudhishthir that Yudhishthir just by his presence will influence everyone, because every person has his own aura which also influences. Just the presence of that person influences others. So one is our acharan, our behavior, and the other is our own bhava. So behavior obviously influences others, but our internal bhava, that also influences. Bhava is internal, it cannot be seen, but that bhava also influences others. We have heard of so many great Siddha Mahatmas that you just be in their presence and you feel some change in your heart just in their presence. Why does that happen? This is their aura, this is their bhava. They can influence others just by their presence. It is said about Bhagavan Buddha that when he used to walk, his aura used to spread till 80 miles just by his presence. That was the extent of his aura. He was such a great personality. He was obviously an avatar of Bhagavan. So you can now imagine what would have been the aura of Bhagavan himself, of our Goswamis. So this is what happens in the society, although we may not recognize it explicitly, but we do get influenced. That is why Bhagavan is speaking here about acharan, about behavior. So we'll stop here, and if you have any question, you can ask.
Babaji, मुझे दो प्रश्न है, एक 3.20 पर
I have two questions. One is on verse 20. The question is
कि जो राज धर्म होता है उसमें संकट आ सकता है, यानी युद्ध करना है, और आधुनिक काल में अगर अब कोई सोल्जर है, कोई रासायनिक फैक्ट्री में काम करता है, तो उसमें संकट आ सकता है। तो कर्म तो
there may be confusion in Raja Dharma. There may be some problems.
कर्म करना चाहिए, वो
Bhagavan is telling here, do karma.
एक ही
Arjun is thinking Gyan Marg is superior.
ऐसा लगता है कि थोड़े कर्म डेंजरस होते हैं, तो उनसे बेहतर आश्रम में रहकर
So
ज्ञान
it
योग
seems
करना
that some karmas are dangerous. So why not live in an ashram and do Gyan Yoga? Answer, Bhagavan will tell this, answer this in the upcoming verses, that do not follow others' dharma.
कि अपने धर्म में आपका निधन भी हो जाता है।
Even if you die performing your own dharma, it is superior to follow others' dharma.
अगर आप दूसरे का धर्म करोगे तो क्या करोगे?
Because if you are following others' dharma, then what will happen? You will become a hypocrite. You will do mithyachar because you do not have the qualification to act like that. Then you will have to present yourself like that. So there will be hypocrisy. So this is the problem today in society, that earlier there was a system of adhikar. People were given roles according to their adhikar, but now anybody can do anything. Even small children are becoming gurus. 10-year-old kids are becoming gurus. They have not studied any shastra, nothing, and the small children are having millions of followers. And just a little bit, acting like a guru, speaking something, little bit he has learnt from the parents, and he is acting like a guru. Somewhere he is laughing, somewhere he is crying, somewhere he is dancing. This is just entertainment. This is not spirituality. Spirituality is not a show off. So you have to follow your own dharma.
परोपदेश है पांडित्यम, दूसरे को उपदेश देने का पांडित्य तो बहुत है।
It is very easy to give lectures to others. Many people have the capability of lecturing others.
वो दोहा है ना, ऐसे लोग बहुत कम हैं जो अपना आचरण करते हैं। परोपदेश कुशल बहुतेरे, जे आचरई ते नर न घनेरे। कि दूसरे को उपदेश करने वाले तो बहुत मिल जाएंगे।
So you will get so many people who lecture others. In your own home, your father will lecture you, but how many parents actually behave according to dharma? Sanatan Goswami also gives this verse.
स्वीय धर्म अनुष्ठानम कस्यचिद महात्मा। तो मेन हमारे जो संस्कृति है, भारतीय संस्कृति, उसका
the foundation of Indian culture is acharan, behavior.
आचार प्रभुओ धर्म।
Manuji even says to this extent that the source of dharma, the foundation of dharma is acharan or behavior. Because without acharan, without proper behavior, there is no dharma. All our Veda Shastras, their essence is dharma. And the essence of dharma is acharan, proper behavior. So, following little bit of Shastra is far better than speaking a lot about Shastra and not following anything.
बाबाजी, मैं दूसरा प्रश्न है,
next question.
जो भगवान जी आर्गुमेंट दे रहे हैं,
So the argument that Bhagavan is giving about acharan, about proper behavior, so Arjun can also say that I am not doing any immoral behavior. I will go to ashram and I will do yoga sadhana. I will follow Gyan Marga. So answer, yes, Arjun can speak like this, but he is not qualified to do this. So he will actually not be able to follow this. Suppose he goes there and now he is in a little, he's in moha, attachment to his family. But if he goes to some ashram and he does sadhana there and there somebody insults him, then how will he react? Immediately he will start fighting, because this is his swabhava. So like when you become angry towards somebody, let's say angry towards your friend, your wife, whatever, so you may speak lot of things out of anger. Later you say that please forgive me, I just spoke out of anger, I did not mean that. So when you become emotional, that time your swabhava changes, but that changed swabhava is just temporary. When you come to your original state, like it's like a rubber band, an elastic band, if you stretch it, if you leave it, it will again come back to its original state. So you have to understand what is your primary swabhava.
तो लोग क्या होता है जैसे घर पर लड़ाई हो गई,
So what happens is that like people are, let's say, fighting in their home.
सबसे पहले 4 प्रकार के लोग मेरा भजन करते हैं. सबसे पहले कौन?
Bhagavan says that 4 types of people do my bhajan. First he says artha, one who is under some experiencing some misery, under some difficulty, so he goes to temple or church. He says that Bhagavan, please bless me, give me this or that, whatever. And when trouble is too much, then the person leaves home and becomes a sadhu. He comes to Vrindavan. Too much of trouble at home, and he leaves and comes to Vrindavan. But that person just came out of anger, so that anger will not continue. So then when he comes to Vrindavan, he will make again one more family. So the question is, did you come to Vrindavan, become a sadhu for doing all this? You should have stayed at home only.
ये साधु का जो मार्ग है, ये स्तब्ध पुरुषों ने इसको दूषित कर दी. तो उसी के लिए भगवान,
so the stabda people have polluted the sadhu marga. That's why Bhagavan is telling here that Shrestha people should act appropriately.
कि क्या आचरण तथा संस्कार समान है?
In the next question, is acharan and samskar the same thing? Answer: samskar is the acharan is what manifests. Samskara is the seed. Samskara is the tree.
और इसे बदलना बहुत कष्टदायक है.
Next question: is acharan or samskar very deep rooted and very difficult to change? So answer: if samskara will change, then acharan will also change. Behavior will also change. In order to change the behavior, you have to change your samskara.
दूसरा प्रश्न है,
Next question:
कार्यों के संस्कार जो
the wrong activities which have been done earlier, their samskaras place obstacles in bhakti. How do we control them? Answer: how to control them? Do your sadhana, and whatever wrong activities you were doing earlier, now do not do that. And when those samskaras come back in your memory, don't see those samskaras with raga dvesh. Remain neutral towards those samskaras. So when people view them with attachment, they want to do that. They start thinking, if this would have happened, that would have happened, if what if I would have obtained that, or they see that with dvesha. Many times you see people, they keep criticizing others. If there is some sannyasi, he keeps criticizing women, so he is seeing women with envy. So by that you are simply strengthening that samskara. So you should neither have raga nor dvesh for that samskara.
आसक्ति दो प्रकार की है.
So attachment is of two types. One is positive and one is negative. So we have to be free of both and act.
धीर ललित जी कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछें.
Radhe Radhe Babaji, thank you for a wonderful discourse. My question is regards to understanding how karma yoga can actually give the ultimate goal. We understand that these two types of karma yoga, sakam and nishkam, and we're taking Janak Maharaj to achieve the ultimate goal. But then we are taught that karma yoga is actually a stepping stone either to the Gyan Marg or to the Bhakti Marg. And then we also see that if you're following Varnashram, if it's not for the pleasure of the Lord, if it's not, then obviously it has no meaning. So I'm just trying to put this in perspective. How do I actually understand it properly? That how can karma yoga by itself lead to the ultimate goal?
तो प्रश्न उनका यह है कि कर्म योग से
So the question is that how can we achieve Bhagavan by just by karma yoga? Because it has been said, it has been taught that karma yoga is just a stepping stone towards
ऐसा
Jnana yoga.
कहा जाता है और अद्वैत
That through karma yoga you go to Jnana yoga and then you get moksha.
से एक मार्ग नहीं है
And
तो इसको
it is said that karma yoga is not a separate path. So regarding this, I had explained earlier also that karma yoga is of two types. One is the
हम कर्म विहित कर्म करते रहते हैं
karma yoga where we just perform prescribed duty but do not offer it to Bhagavan,
हमारी बुद्धि भगवान पर नहीं रहती है
and our awareness is not towards Bhagavan.
को ज्ञान योग में ले जाएगा वहां से
So that karma yoga will take you to Jnana yoga and then you achieve moksha. But the karma yoga that Bhagavan is teaching in Gita
हैं कि इस कर्म से सिद्धि
and says that this karma will give you perfection,
स्वे स्वे कर्मणि
and later in 18th chapter he also says
कि अपने अपने कर्म को करते हुए आप
that
स्वयं भगवान
you can achieve perfection by performing your karma.
और 18वें अध्याय जो कि अंतिम है वहां फिर इस बात को कहते हैं
In 18th chapter he will repeat this.
जब आप उस कर्म को जो है निष्काम भाव से करते हैं और
So that karma yoga is done with nishkama bhav to achieve Bhagavan. If you study Bhakti Sandarbha, there Sri Jiva Goswami has explained this.
तीन प्रकार से कि
You can do karma in three ways.
वस्तु प्राप्त
One is you want something material or you want liberation, that is Kaivalya karma, and third you want bhakti. Karma can be done in three ways. So you perform karma and offer it to Bhagavan, and your offer with the goal that I just want bhakti, Bhagavan, nothing else. So that karma can give you siddhi, give perfection.
संदीप जी का प्रश्न है
Next
आमतौर
question.
पे देखा गया है कि अधिकांश भक्ति
It is
आचार्य
generally
सन्यासी
seen
हैं।
that
किसी जीवन
generally the bhakti
हर कोई
acharyas have
आचार्य
been
के
sannyasis.
कोई उदाहरण है
Is there any example of grihastha acharyas? So answer, there are many examples in Shastra. In Bhagavatam, most are grihasthas. Study Chaitanya Charitamrit. Most of Mahaprabhu's associates are grihasthas only. Now also there are many in society. Now if I give you an example of a person whom you don't know, what is the use of that? So you study Bhaktamal, study Bhagavatam, study Chaitanya Charitamrita, whether it is Prahlada or Dhruva or King Prithu, all these were grihasthas, all the bhaktas of Vraja. There is no sannyasi in Vraja, whether it is Bhagavan's sakhas, Bhagavan's friends or the gopis. There is no sannyasi in that.
Can I ask in English? Here Krishna is explaining that by taking shelter of buddhi, one should uplift oneself or let go the ashakti in karma fall. And then later on, he's telling like dadami buddhi yogam tvam. And is this the same buddhi that we already have?
No,
or is
buddhi
this
there means prem. उनका प्रश्न वास्तव में इससे थोड़ा हटके ही है कि यहाँ भगवान कहते हैं बुद्धि का प्रयोग
So the question is, here Bhagavan is, she is asking that Bhagavan is telling use your buddhi. Later he says, I give buddhi. No, their buddhi yoga means prem. Because he is already doing bhakti.
ठीक है
Whatever action a great person performs in 21 and whatever standards such an eminent person sets, it seems to say almost the same thing. So what might be the shade of understanding between the two sentences in verse 21?
सेट का मतलब वो पूछ रही है कि जो 21वें
So
श्लोक में
her question is that in 21st verse, what is said
आचरण करता है और फिर वो
that
प्रमाण करता है
whatever a great person performs,
तो सेट द स्टैंडर्ड जिसको आप अंग्रेजी में बोलते
So
हैं,
in English, when you say to set the standard, that is here yat pramanam kurute.
उसको बताता है, समझाता है कि
Pramanam kurute means he explains that person that this is the pramana.
और प्रमाण
Acharan is what he himself is
से
doing,
बोलता है,
and pramana he
इसमें ये
speaks
शास्त्रीय प्रमाण है, इसका
that this is the shastra pramana.
ये दोनों में अंतर है। समझ आए?
One is speaking and the other one is behaving.
Right. प्रार्थना श्लोक। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपाल नंदनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता गीता दुग्धम गीतामृतम महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मंत्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रये भवे भवे यथा भक्तिः पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपाप प्रणाशनं प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परं हरि ओम तत्सत्।